How are you squirting? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we are going to be talking about how the Nintendo Switch outsold your faves. If you somehow didn't hear the news, the Nintendo Switch did just surpass the Wii in lifetime console sales in the US. And I don't know if, maybe you don't know, but this is a huge deal because it is almost impossible to pass the Wii in sales, let alone the PS2, and the Switch is getting there. The Switch is second to only the PS2 at this point as the best-selling console of all time. I believe it's still below the DS, but the DS, I think the list goes PS2, DS, and now Switch, which is incredible for a console to sell that much in this day and time. I personally never thought I'd be saying this, but I do think it is possible for the Wii to beat the PS2, and we're going to be talking about it in this video, and I hope you enjoy. The Switch only needs to sell about 15 million more units to be the best-selling console of all time, and I personally believe that it can do it. Again, the Switch is only second to the PS2 at this point, unless you include the DS as a handheld console, in which case it is slightly below that, but I do think it could beat both of them in the next 2 to 5 years, considering the Switch has yet to get an official price drop, which to me is incredibly surprising because the Switch has held that $300 price tag for a long time, unless you include the Switch Lite, which I guess you kind of could. But the Switch, I think, even if it receives a $50 price drop, or maybe not even that, just start including games with it regularly, maybe 1 to 2 games, or make the special editions $300. I don't know, but I think that with a price drop in the next 1 to 2 years, the Switch could easily break the record as the best-selling console of all time. Now, the only thing that I think might stop the Switch from doing that is the new Nintendo console. Now, it's possible maybe the new Nintendo console, again, we have no idea when it's coming out, but it's speculated to release maybe in about a year. And perhaps they're gonna try what they did with the Wii and the Wii U, where the Wii was backwards compatible with the GameCube and the Wii U was backwards compatible with the Wii. Maybe the Switch 2, or whatever you want to call it, is going to be compatible with the original Nintendo Switch, which I'm not sure if that will hurt the original Switch's sales, or if it might even make them go higher. Because maybe with Nintendo's new console, it's just going to be a beefier, better version of the Switch. And if that's the case, and it still plays Switch games, then I think the Switch will continue to sell for a while. I mean, what do you guys think? If the next Nintendo console does play Switch games, do you think it will help the sales of the Nintendo Switch, or will it hurt the sales in the Nintendo Switch? Because I'm not sure. I don't have any data to support either side, but I would be curious what your guys' thoughts are, so let me know in the comments. I think that there is no doubt in my mind that the Nintendo Switch will absolutely shatter the record. I think given enough time, the Nintendo Switch will beat the DS, it will beat the PS2, and it will reign the supreme for possibly the next 20 years. I could be wrong, but the Switch has sold so well at this point that people didn't even think was possible after PS2. The PS2 was priced so well during an extremely lucrative time in gaming, let alone the library of games the PS2 had, and just the overall state. PlayStation was on top, and they were able to lower the price to the point where the PS2 was almost dumb not to go buy one. And that was Nintendo's strategy with the Wii as well. The Wii got to the point where it's like, well, I mean, you gotta get a Wii. It's only $200 and then it's only $150, or I can't remember the exact prices, but the Wii was like, I mean, you can play GameCube games, you can play Wii games. Everyone I knew had a Wii. And the Switch has gotten to that point where it's like, everyone I know has one. Shit, I have like 4 of them. So I think the Switch can get to the point where it's like, I don't know. I think it's going to get to the point where it beats the PS2 easily. I think it's going to blow it out of the water. Plus, there's so many more games the Switch has yet to release that are going to be banger. I mean, Mario Wonder is probably going to alone sell another 1 million Switches. I mean, people have been wanting a Mario game like this for so long. And I think if they release a special edition with the Switch, you know, that's going to easily sell a boatload more. And it's not only that, but new Pokemon games, the new Mario game, maybe the new Metroid game if it finally decides to come out. I mean, there's so many games that can still come out on the Switch that are just going to sell more consoles. I personally think the Switch has another 5 years at least of just selling consoles, and I think it would be dumb for Nintendo to not realize that and to just cut it off at the limbs and just cut it off while it, it's still going strong. I mean, it beat the Wii, for Christ's sake. I didn't think that was going to be possible at this point. the Xbox X, whatever it's called now, and the PS5, you know, they've been doing all right, but they're nowhere close to that. Again, those are really expensive consoles. You know, a PS5 is going to run you $500, $600, and I just don't think they're able to compete with the Switch in that way. And I hope that Nintendo's new console, you know, they'll take into consideration just how strong the Switch was, and they're not going to try to mess that up, but hopefully they'll also reinvent itself so that I have a reason to even buy one. Because looking back on it, I don't want them to do a Wii U again. Those were dark times. But I do think that the Switch is going to sell for a long time. A long time. Just like with the PS2, just like with the Wii. I mean, those things were selling for probably like a decade after they came out. And again, we still have so many. We haven't even gotten an announcement for a new console. We still have so many games that can come out. Every Nintendo Direct, it's like 5, 10, 15 more Switch games where it's like, man, I gotta get at least 2 of these. So I think some people are going to definitely still want to buy a Nintendo Switch. If not, just like me, get multiple of them. One for a kid, one for a spouse, one for the living room, one for the basement, one for your bedroom. I mean, this console can sell a lot more, and I think it will. I think it's going there. I genuinely think PlayStation should watch out, because I think it's coming for the record, and I think it's going to blow it out of the water. I think in the next 5 years that the Switch is going to sell 160, 170, like heck, maybe 180 million consoles. Like, I think it's going to blow the PS2 out of the water. At least that's what I hope. But I also do hope that Nintendo doesn't drop the ball with the new console. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a Switch Pro. Maybe that will count towards the Switch console numbers. Maybe they're not even ready to go to the next, you know, generation yet. They're gonna stall it out so that they can beef up these numbers. Or hopefully we just don't get a Wii U 2 where they decide, you know, and it just kind of fumbles. But, or hopefully, I don't know, I just hope the new console is good. I hope they make good games. At the end of the day, it's just numbers. You know, it doesn't matter too much. It's mostly just like, you know, the Switch is selling really good. Again, almost everyone I know has one. And it does remind me of the PS2 days where it's like, you go to anybody, it's like, do you have a PS2? Or the Wii days. And it's like, yeah, I have a Wii. Yeah, I have a PS2. And now it's, yeah, I have a Switch. And I really do hope that it does beat the records, because I personally thought that, you know, no one was going to touch the PS2. I mean, it's been decades and it's still holding in strong. So I really do hope the Switch beats it. But, you know, what do you think? What are your thoughts? Let me know. I'm always reading all of my comments. So if you have any thoughts on the topic, just let me know. I can't wait for more Switch games. Again, Mario Wonder is something I'm looking so forward to. But if you want to see more content like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts on the video. If you want to support me, I have a Patreon. You can feel free to do that. But either way, I hope you have a great day. Keep on squirting.